Okay, welcome everybody. This is the Township of Center Wellington Committee of Adjustments meeting for October 21st, 2001. I'd like now to call the meeting to order. I'd like to ask members of the committee if they would like to disclose any pecuniary interest at this time. Okay, seeing none. We'll move to confirm the minutes from the previous meeting. Could I get somebody to move that motion, please? Thank you, Fernando. Can I get somebody to second that motion as well? Thanks, Janice. Okay, well, Carrie, if you could let in parties that are here.
Need to, sorry, Brad, you need to just confirm that.
Oh, sorry. Well. Yeah, thank you. Okay, by show of hands, we'll just confirm to move that motion. All in favor? Okay, so the minutes from the previous meeting have been approved. Thank you, Chantal. We'll move to the third applicant, I believe, Carrie, is that correct?
Sure, I'll let them in right now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the first application today that we're going to be reviewing is file number A024/2021. The property is located at 8118 Sideroad 20, West Garafraxa. Relief is being requested to permit a maximum of 3 assistants instead of 2 who are not residents in the dwelling, and further to permit the floor area of the business shop to be 350 square meters or 3,767 square feet instead of the maximum permitted size of 100 square meters or 1,076 square feet. The effect of the variance is to permit a home business welding shop to operate within the existing accessory building. Chantal, can you confirm that signage has been posted at the property? Chantal?
Hi, sorry. Yes, I can confirm that the sign was posted in accordance with the Planning Act. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, I'd like either the applicant or the applicant's agent to introduce themselves and to speak on behalf of this request.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Amy. Thank you so much for your time. Just looking to, I own C. Amy Custom Welding based in Elora on Spears Road, and I'm looking to combine my home and business onto one property if I can for kind of be close to my family, and really appreciate everybody's time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Beesman, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, committee members. The planning report prepared by Mariana is a great report, and I think presents it quite well. The request is to allow a third staff person, and the request is allowed to have a shop of 326 square meters to be operated for the business instead of just 100 square meters for the business portion. If you've seen the sketch, reviewed the sketch, you can see that there was an original shop and then a relatively new addition put on. It's the new part that will be used for the business. The old shop will be used for personal use. Chris has described his business to me. He's a welding business. And as he said, he'd like to bring it into this property so he can live there and work there. Most of his work, 70% of his work, is on the site where the steel is installed or fabricated or fixed up and repaired, that kind of thing. So he's got a couple of the standard welding trucks that the staff person will come in the morning, get in the truck, take the truck and go to the site. So about 30% of the work is done at the shop where they fabricate stuff and put it together and then put it on the truck and bring it to in a trailer and bring it to the site. So there's no customers coming to the site. So I think it's an appropriate use and a reasonable variance in this case. I think the planning report has presented it well as well, but I'm happy to take any questions, or if you have any questions for Chris as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Beesman. We'd like to ask any members of the committee if they have questions for Mr. Amy or Mr. Beesman. regarding the application? Yes, Aaron?
Thanks, Brad. Just curious how parking will be facilitated on site. It sounds like there might be personal vehicles and work vehicles. Is there space to accommodate that?
Chris, I think there's lots of room for parking, but Chris, do you want to comment on that? You probably know it better than I do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, in my estimation, there's plenty of parking. There's a large lot, but as I say, there will be maximum of 3 employees. So what the case would be is you'd have 3 personal vehicles of the employees that would be parked at the rear of the building. You would not see them from the road. There's quite a large lot behind the shop. I have 3 trucks, one of which is my daily driver, mobile welding trucks. My wife has her SUV, and most of the vehicles, trailers, all of that would be parked at the rear of the building. I plan to plant some trees so that you couldn't, it wouldn't be of any notice to anybody, and take it from there.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Are there any other questions? Yes, Janice?
The existing business on the property, it uses, of course, the smaller building at the present time. Am I correct? Yeah. Yep. And it is the same sort of scenario, like it's mostly off-site, not on-site at the present time.
I can't, maybe I should clarify one detail here, and because you ask a good question. Chris is in the process of purchasing. He's got an offer of purchase and agreement to purchase this property. So the existing activity there, I don't know too much about. The main focus of this application is for Chris and his future business, and him moving there and running his business out of there. So the existing business, whatever's there now, is going to move out as soon as this is finished and the offer of purchase agreement is finished. And so I'm expecting in a few months that they'll close the deal. And so it is really perspective of the future.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe that question could be answered by township staff. Mariana or Randy, do you have any knowledge of what the existing use of that building is at this time?
Thank you. Through you, no, I can't speak to the current use. When the application that was before the Committee of Adjustment was approved, it was for a personal storage building. I understand there might be some kind of business operating on site. I don't know the details of that. All we were presented with was the current application and the applicant's desire to purchase this property and to operate that business out of this accessory building. So they were informed that they would require a minor variance to do so. So I can't really speak to the current operations on the property. I'm not aware of exactly what's happening there.
If I may, I know from being in there, it's strictly storage. That is being used for right now, as it was applied for.
Okay. Oh.
Yes, Janice?
So there isn't an existing there isn't an existing business there that you know of, eh?
Through you, not that we're aware of. I'm not aware of any business that's operating there right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Janice. Are there any more questions for the applicant or the agent? Okay, we'll move to questions for township staff. Do any members of the committee have questions? Okay, seeing none. Chantel, are there any registered delegates wishing to speak for or against the application?
No, we didn't have anybody register to speak, and we didn't receive any written submissions either on the application.
Okay, thank you for confirming. Okay, we'll move to have a roundtable discussion with the members of the committee to discuss the merits of the application. So, Janice, would you like to start, please?
Yes, I don't think I would have any real concern with the business being there, as it is mostly offsite anyway, or a lot of it is offsite. And there really doesn't appear to be a whole lot of neighbors, except for maybe across the street, or across the road. But yeah, I think it's in general keeping with the official plan and zoning. And I would also agree, or I would support the application with the conditions as laid out by staff.
Okay, thank you, Janice. Fernando?
I don't have any particular issues with this application. I think it kind of like fits with the community. Yeah, and that's it. I don't have any more comments.
Okay, thank you, Fernando. And Aaron?
No concerns, seems minor given the context. I'm in support.
Okay, thank you. I'm also in support as well. To me, it seems minor in nature. It's not really going to have too many impacts on the surrounding land uses or with the adjacent neighbors. So I'm also in favor of this as well. Chantal, could you read the decision in support of minor variance, please?
Yeah, and I'm going to include the two conditions that Mariana had included in her report. Is that correct?
Yep, thank you.
Okay. That in the matter of application for minor variance for relief from the Township of Center Wellington zoning bylaw 2009-045 as amended, section 4.19, items C and D, permission be granted to permit 3 assistants as opposed to 2 assistants who are not residents in the dwelling operating the business from, and further to permit an increased maximum size of the business shop to 350 meters squared as opposed to the maximum permitted size of 100 meters squared for the business shop. The effect of the variance is to permit a home business welding shop to operate in a portion of the existing accessory building subject to the following conditions. That the home business tradesperson use within the accessory building shall be limited to 362 meters squared in area as shown on the most recent minor variance sketch dated October 14th, 2021. And number 2, that all zoning requirements for the accessory building shall be confirmed to be met prior to the issuance of a building permit for change of use or additional zoning relief shall be sought and approved.
Yes, Mariana?
So I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. I think in the condition you said 362, so it's 326. Just making sure that's the right number. And also in the decision itself, when the application originally came in, we weren't entirely sure of the exact size of the building. So the request was for 350 square meters. However, we've since received the revised plan, which shows that the building itself, this business portion is 326, which is why staff was asking to limit the size. So it wouldn't be approving, well, it's up to the committee to decide whether to approve the 326 or the 350 that was requested, and staff is recommending that it be limited to 326. The size of the current building.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for clarifying that. I think I'm fine with the 326.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, so
Everyone in favor of that switch, so I don't have to read it out again, just to show of hands.
Yep.
326, okay. I will change the decision.
Okay, thank you. And could I get somebody to move that motion, please? Thanks, Aaron. And somebody to second? Yes, Janice. And all in favor by show of hands? Okay. So the application for your request for minor variance is approved, and there's a 20-day appeal period. And thank you for your time today, Mr. Bieseman and Mr. Amy.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to the first application here.
Okay, give me a minute and I'll bring him in.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is application file number A022/2021, 39 Goodall Court in Fergus. Relief is being requested to permit a reduced minimum rear yard setback of 5 meters or 16.4 feet, as opposed to the required minimum rear yard setback of 7.5 meters, 24.6 feet. And the effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an addition, a sunroom, on the existing dwelling. Chantal, can you confirm that signage has been posted at the property?
Yes, I can confirm the sign was posted in accordance with the Planning Act requirements.
Okay, thank you. And could I have the applicant or the agent for the applicant, just in their own words, present their request, please?
Yes, that's correct. My name is Sean Sawatsky. I'm the agent for the project. And what you explained there was exactly right. We've read the comments and we're in agreement with them.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to ask if any members of the committee have questions for Sean. Yes, Fernando?
I was just wondering, are you doing the showroom room on top, like on the existing deck, or are you actually doing like the whole entire thing, not removing walls?
You're right. The existing deck is there. So we're not going to be expanding further than what is already been there. So we're just pretty much enclosing. It's a 3-season. It's like an unheated sunroom that we're putting on the back there. Yes, sir. So there's no walls to the house be removed. It'll be a continual thermal barrier to the house. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Are there any more questions for Mr. Sawatsky? Are there any questions for township staff? Yes, Janice?
I do have a question. Now it can be for the applicant or staff, but at the rear of the property, the lot fronting on number 6 highway is it's a residential lot, right? And is there any buffering or anything between that residential lot and the applicant's lot? Yes.
Oops. Sorry, did you want me to answer that or?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mariana.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, there was a problem there with my button there. Sorry, I think I can answer that. If you look at the aerial photo that was submitted with the report as well, there is, looks like a significant amount of vegetation. So if that's what you mean by buffer, there are several trees on the adjacent property in that corner. And I'm not sure if there is a fence, so perhaps the applicant can advise about that. But is that what you meant, Janice, by buffer?
Yes. I know. I see the aerial map, but it's just yeah. I didn't really see that there was much for buffering. I mean, I guess I just can't picture because they're so small. So what kind of size they are? But it does appear that there's maybe a fence there as well.
There. So I'm looking at a picture of the backyard. There's a fence. To the left and the right of the sunroom, but straight back, there are some cedar trees, and yeah, there is quite a bit of vegetation. It's next to impossible to see through it.
Yeah.
But,
okay. Okay. I was just thinking of privacy for both parties there. Yeah.
Good question.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Janice. Do we have any more questions? Okay, seeing none. Chantal, were there any registered delegates who wish to speak for or against the application?
Oh, we didn't receive any delegations, and we didn't receive any written correspondence from anybody provided the circulation.
Okay, thank you for confirming. Okay, we'll move to have a roundtable discussion with committee members to discuss the merits of the application, and we'll start with Aaron.
No concerns, minor in nature.
Okay, thank you. Fernando?
No concerns.
Okay, Janice?
No, I don't think I have any concerns either. It's on an existing footprint of a deck, and it appears certainly that it's it's in the general intent or keeping of the official plan and zoning. So, no, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I could support it.
Okay, thank you. I would agree as well. I think it's minor in nature and I'm in support of it. Chantal, could you read the decision in support of the request, please?
That in the matter of application for minor variance for relief from the Township of Center Wellington zoning bylaw 2009-045 as amended, section 7.1.2, table 7B, item J, permission be granted to allow a reduced rear yard setback of 5 meters in lieu of the required minimum rear yard setback of 7.5 meters. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an addition, sunroom, on the existing dwelling.
Okay, thank you. Could I get somebody to move that motion, please? Thank you, Aaron. And somebody to second. Fernando. And by show of hands, all in favor? Okay. Mr. Swatsky, there's a 20-day appeal period before you can proceed. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye. Okay, we'll move to the next application.
Through you, there is no one in the waiting room, so the applicant has not joined.
Okay,
I may just, I can email him quickly, 1 sec.
okay.
I sent him an email with the link, so we can wait a little bit if you want.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
We can give them a few minutes. I think we'll wait 2 more minutes and then we'll just proceed.
Okay, sounds good. I haven't received anything back yet.
Okay, I think we'll move forward. And if the applicant or the agent joins in, that's great. If not, we'll just proceed. The next application is file number A023/2021. Relief is being requested to permit a reduced minimum frontage of 10.9 meters, 35.7 feet, as opposed to the required minimum frontage of 12 meters or 39.3 feet. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of residential dwellings. And the property is located at lots 25 to 54 on block 1, phase 2B, 23T-16003, Storybrook. Okay, Chantal, could you confirm that signage has been posted?
Yes, the sign was posted in accordance with the Planning Act requirements.
Okay, thank you for confirming. Since we don't have the applicant here, I guess we'll just move straight to asking questions for township staff. Do any members of the committee have questions? Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Curious about the parking impacts, because it sounds like they're adding units. So that in itself will add parking requirements. And they're likely reducing boulevard space because of more driveways, which is going to reduce on-street parking as it currently stands. So were they in a surplus before that's allowing them to still meet the parking needs on street?
Thank you for the question. Through you, so that was one of the staff concerns when this first came forward. And they did a parking analysis that demonstrated there was zero change in parking because it would only be impacted if the lots were over 40 feet wide. Sorry, I don't know what that is in meters. So I guess to put it simply, given the limitations in the ability to allow on-street parking for lots that are less than 40 feet wide, so the original size was less than that anyway, there wouldn't have been, there's basically no change to the parking with this change. And I did confirm that it is one additional unit that is being added here in terms of the lots. So one additional lot is being created. So the impact is, there is no impact on parking.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mariana. That's great. Are there any more questions for township staff? Yes, Fernando?
Was there another reason other than increasing density for this application? I mean, they went through the whole entire subdivision plan and it got approved, and now they're adding, they're doing all these changes just to add one unit.
Thank you. I can answer the question. So when the application, this draft plan of subdivision was received and approved, it's done through what's called unlotted blocks. So the density, it allows some flexibility in the density and the market because they don't know exactly what they will be building. So the plan of subdivision, the zoning that was put these at R1B with a site-specific exception. And the ones across the street are similar, but there are two, so they're slightly smaller. And I think what they tried to do here is to increase the yield by, I know it's just one unit, but it does increase the yield. So they've applied for this minor change. And this is the first step for them to be able to lot this block out. So they're just, I guess, as they go through each lot, trying to increase the yield of units to the extent possible. The density targets are minimums that are set, and we always encourage higher density where feasible. So in this particular block, they've determined they could add an additional unit or an additional lot through this minor adjustment in the lot sizes. So it's not uncommon that this type of thing happens in unlotted blocks within subdivisions, because when it's approved, they just don't know exactly how many lots they'll be able to fit in and exactly what they'll be building. So it's one of the conditions of the draft approval of the subdivision is that they need staff approval to lot out the blocks. And this is the first step in that, as I said.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks again, Mariana. Yes, Janice? You're on mute there, Janice.
Oops, sorry. I was just wondering, when is, what's the timing of this particular phase?
Through you, I don't know myself. They're not building this phase yet, but it would be helpful if the applicant was here to answer that. I'm not entirely sure of their timing. And maybe Randy might have some information on that, based on where the permits that have been approved are located.
Is this, sorry, through you, Brad, is this phase 2A or phase 2B?
2B, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. So Janice, phase 2A, just within the last few days got the subdivision registered. So we will be accepting applications on phase 2A imminently. I think we may have actually received some in the last day or two. But phase 2B, this one here, I believe is a little ways off yet. They'll probably build out phase 2A, which is I think it's about 150-ish lots. So I would suspect, and this is only a guess, that you'd probably be looking at late spring next year. But yeah, as Mariana mentioned, it'd be nice to have the applicant here because he would be able to answer that. But I'm just speculating because I suspect they'll probably want to build out a substantial portion of phase 2A before they move to phase 2B.
Right.
That's all I know.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I guess I just find it a little disheartening that they wouldn't make the effort to appear today for this application if they so badly are looking for an additional lot. Yeah, I'm just being, I think they should be required to come before the committee, to get their application heard. Anyway, that's just my thought. Thank you.
Thanks, Janice. Yes, Aaron?
Somewhat off topic, but question for staff. Any idea why the roads in this subdivision are being built so wide? They're about 9 meters, maybe 10 meters in some instances. And if you walk through these subdivisions right now, you can already see people putting up lawn signs to try and calm traffic down. There's a lot of speeding. I'm just curious, is that a development manual produced by Center Wellington, or is that Wellington County, where those design standards come from?
Through you, I believe it would come from the township's own design standards. There's specific requirements for urban cross-section, which I believe these are. They would have, I'm not sure if there's sidewalks on both sides. If that's, I apologize, I don't have all of that information, but it would be a Center Wellington standard.
Okay. Speaking from experience, you're going to find as more of these subdivisions get built at 9 meter wide, and there's more subdivisions in the pipeline, I imagine your speeding complaints are going to go up, and you're going to find yourself going back into those suburbs and doing retrofits. Do you know if those design standards are up for review at any time soon, or are they reviewed on a regular basis?
Through you, yes, we use them, they're on our website, but there's nothing to say that they can't be amended. So as we work through them, when elements need to be amended, we will look at that. But I can take your comment back to our engineering staff, and also feel free to make those comments. Definitely, you could email them directly as well and provide some feedback on that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Aaron. Okay, do we have any more questions? Okay. We'll move to have a roundtable discussion with committee members. Fernando, would you like to start?
Well, I'm gonna say that I'm with Janet. Like, it's very unfortunate the applicant is not present. And that's all I have to say, I guess, for now.
Okay, thank you. Janice?
Yeah, I have to say that I'm not pleased that the applicant didn't bother to show. But I guess given that, and we have no actual requirement that they do appear, I take it. I guess I don't actually have a particular problem with the application, and I can support it because it is in keeping with the lot frontages and some of the lots across the street and whatnot. So it's not something that's unusual for this particular area. But anyway, yeah, I can support it.
Okay, thanks, Janice. And Aaron?
I agree. It's disappointing the applicant isn't here, but I'm in support. It's minor.
Okay, thank you. I also agree this is minor in nature. The addition of one lot's not going to be a detriment to the community, to the subdivision. So I'm also in support of this as well. Okay, Chantal, could you read the decision in support of the application, please?
That in the matter of application for minor relief from the Township of Center Wellington zoning bylaw 2009-045 as amended, section 15.66.1, permission be granted to allow a reduced minimum lot frontage of 10.9 meters in lieu of the required minimum lot frontage of 12 meters. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of residential dwellings.
Okay, thank you, Chantal. Can I get somebody to move that motion? Yes, Fernando. And can I get somebody to second that, please? Yes, Janice. And by show of hands, all in favor? Okay. So that's approved. 20-day appeal period for the applicant, which I'm sure they're aware. Okay. We'll move on to discuss any other business. Chantal?
No, I don't have anything else to add. I'll confirm that there'll be a meeting in November. We have 3 applications, or 2, likely 3.
That's still going to be virtual at this time?
Yes. Yeah, and it'll be at 2 o'clock.
Okay, great. Okay, there's nothing else to discuss. We'll move to adjourn the meeting. Could I get somebody to move that motion? Okay, thank you, Fernando, and somebody to second. Thanks, Janice. And by show of hands, all in favor? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.